Welcome back. Today we have a word about requirement, a mogul, a bit of a war, a robber baron, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for May 27th. May 27th is the 147th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 148th in leap years, with 218 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is oblige. Oblige is a verb that may mean to force or require someone to do something, as in the law obliges drivers to carry insurance, or to place someone under a sense of gratitude, as in, your generosity greatly obliges us, or to do someone a favor, as in, would you oblige me by opening the window? The tone can range from formal politeness to legal necessity. A few more example sentences might be, the rainy weather obliged the event organizers to move indoors, or I'd be obliged if you'd send me the details, or international treaties oblige nations to follow certain rules. The colloquialism much obliged means thank you very much. Oblige originally meant something more along the lines of binding someone by duty, gratitude, or necessity, and still kind of holds that flavor today. Oblige comes to us through Old French, Latin before that. First known use of the word oblige is in the 1300s. Oblige. And with that, this is the birthday of Cornelius Vanderbilt, born May 27, 1794. His great-great-great-grandfather had come to America as an indentured servant in 1650. All these years later, Cornelius became one of the richest Americans in history and wealthiest figures overall by building his wealth in shipping and railroads. He founded over a dozen railroads. Word has it he might not have been extremely refined. It was said of Cornelius Vanderbilt that he could be a rascal and a brute, but still honorable, shrewd, and hard-working. Cornelius remarried after his first wife died, and that second wife, who bore the unusual name of Frank, that second wife convinced Cornelius to donate $1 million to found Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. He'd had 13 children with his first wife and left 95% of his $105 million estate to his oldest son, William, and the 4 grandsons through William. The remaining 5% of that huge estate broke down to a little over $500,000 for each of the remaining son and 9 daughters, which was worth a lot more back then than it is now. But the remaining son and 2 of the daughters, rather than be happy to have inherited such a fortune, more than $500,000 each, were resentful that William and his children got so much more than they did and decided to sue, claiming that their father wasn't in his right mind when he drew up his will. That oldest son, William, won the case, but still gave those 3 each an extra $200,000 and a $400,000 trust fund, which he didn't have to do. Cornelius Vanderbilt lived to the age of 82 and is buried in the Vanderbilt Family Cemetery and Mausoleum on Staten Island, New York. The War of 1812 is so named because it began in 1812. It lasted a little over 2.5 years, on into 1815. It was a conflict between the newly minted United States and the British Empire and had sort of a cascading series of events as its cause. The War of 1812 is sometimes referred to as the Second War of Independence. For one thing, the Brits were trying to force American sailors to join the British Navy. The British had also imposed trade restrictions and blockaded American ports. On May 27, 1813, American forces captured Fort George, which is located on the Canada side of the Niagara River, north of Niagara Falls. There were a good many skirmishes to go before it was all over. For instance, the British captured and burned Washington, D.C. in 1814 and General Andrew Jackson achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of New Orleans in 1815. Interestingly, the two countries had come to terms and signed a treaty, the Treaty of Ghent, in December of 1814, but the War of 1812 was not officially over until that peace treaty was ratified by Congress in February of 1815. This is the birthday of businessman and financier Jay Gould, born May 27, 1836. To simply call him a businessman and financier is to grossly understate his impact on history. Jay Gould was an American railroad magnate and financial speculator, generally identified as one of the robber barons of the Gilded Age. He's part of that Tammany Hall mess, for example, and then he tried to buy up gold in order to corner the market and drive the prices up. His plots were complex and far-reaching, and within a month his speculations led to a bank panic known as Black Friday in September of 1869. Pretty sure we've talked about that before at some point. His sharp and often unscrupulous business practices made him one of the wealthiest men of the late 19th century. A highly controversial and unpopular figure during his life, Gould is widely regarded as one of the great villains of his era. He died of tuberculosis at the age of 56. Today's song is I Can't Help Myself, also known as Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, by the Four Tops. Written by the amazing and prolific Holland Dozier Holland writing team, I Can't Help Myself is one of Motown's best-known recordings of the 1960s and one of the decade's biggest hits. It hit number one for 2 non-consecutive weeks in the summer of 1965. I Can't Help Myself has been covered by such luminaries as the Supremes, Johnny Rivers, LaToya Jackson, Kid Rock, and many others. And the Four Tops themselves recorded a special Italian language version in 1967. I Can't Help Myself by the Four Tops. Link in the description. How about that? For today's quote, I have another one from the 13th century Persian poet Saadi, and it is, where's that quote? Okay, honey, come here, you little quote, you. I know you got it somewhere. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Saadi. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. So, grab your favorite cuppa. Why is that green screened? No green screen. Okay.